students, how are you all? I hope everyone is doing well, everyone is safe and healthy at your home. So yes children, today we are back again with the chapter that is crop production and management of class 8. Today we shall discuss the topic manures and fertilizers and irrigation. This is one of the practices of agriculture. So today we are going to discuss this topic children. Yes. So yes, why adding and manures and fertilizers are important to the crops? Yes, Sharon. So first of all, you can see that the substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plants are called as manures and fertilizers. Now what is said here that nutrients for the healthy growth of plants. Now what is required children? Nutrients. Now why nutrients is required? And from where does this nutrients the crops get from? Like for example, we take food, right? We eat the food. From food what we get is the nutrients. Now why this nutrients is required? For the growth and development of our body. The same way plants also require nutrients for the healthy growth of their plants, and for that what is required? Nutrients. Now we people get nutrients from the food which we eat, but for plants, from where they must be obtaining these nutrients? So yes children, they are obtaining these nutrients from the soil, from the air, from the water. So we shall see in the next slide children about the nutrients. So yes, now why these manures and fertilizers are needed children? So first of all, the reason is, as you know, that continuous growing of the crops makes the soil poorer in certain nutrients. So if continuous cultivation of crops in the same piece of land for several years will deplete all the nutrition from the soil, and even the crops which are planted in such fields will grow weaker and weaker, and also it will give the poor yield. So therefore what is required to replace them again? Manures and fertilizers are being added, and these materials will ensure the availability of all the adequate amount of nutrients to the crops to be sown on the soil. Okay, so yes, so soil supplies mineral nutrients to the crops, and these nutrients are very essential for the growth of the plants. So therefore farmers have to add manures to the field to replenish the soil with the nutrients, and this process called as manuring. So by adding the manure to the fields to replenish the soil with the nutrients which has been lost due to continuous cultivation of same crops on the same piece of land for years and years, so to replenish them again, the process is called as manuring. And improper or insufficient manuring also results in the weak plants. So we should also keep in mind that proper amount of manures and fertilizers needs to be added in a proper amount. So yes children, I was talking about the nutrients. So these are some of the important nutrients which are required for the plants for the healthy growth. So these are classified as macro and micronutrients. So there are total 16 elements, or you can say nutrients, which are required for the crops, and this they are getting available from the air, from the water, and from the soil. Okay, so from air they get carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and remaining 13 elements they get from the soil. Okay, so as you can see, they are classified as a macro and micronutrients. So macro means children, as you know, the word itself say macro means it required in a large amount. So these are the nutrients which are required in a larger amount, so they are called as macronutrients. For example, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. You can compare with the micronutrients, though the number are less, but they are required in a large amount. Okay, so as you can see from there, from where they have been obtained, from the roots. The roots absorb all these nutrients, and with the water it is absorbed by the plants. Okay, whereas if we talk about micronutrients, then you will see number are more, but they are required in very small quantities. Like you can see iron, manganese, copper, zinc, boron, chloride, molybdenum. So you can see in the figure children that from where does these all the nutrients are available to the plants, from the air, water, and from the soil. Minds children. And if one of the nutrients is deficient in this particular plant, it will show the symptoms. Like you can see there is a deficiency of nitrogen, the color of the leaves changes, and you can see some of the pictures of deficiency of nutrients. So if one of the deficient of nutrient take place in the plants, then they will show the symptoms and plant may suffer from some of the diseases. So yes children, manures and fertilizers. So there is a difference between manures and fertilizers. Now you know that farmers add both manures also and fertilizers also, but they individually have their own importance, some disadvantages also children. So this is one of the important part, that is difference between manures and fertilizers. So first of all, as you can see, manures are organic substances. Now why children organic? Because they are made up of all the organic substances like animal waste and plant residues, and it is also prepared in the fields, even it can be prepared at their home in the farm. Okay, so manures are prepared by the decomposition of animal excreta as well as the plant waste. And if we talk about fertilizers, then fertilizers are man-made chemical or inorganic substances that is rich in nutrients, and they are prepared in the factories. So as they are prepared in the factories, so they are named as man-made chemical fertilizers, and they are very essential for the growth of the plants. Then manures are very rich in organic nutrients, but yes, they are not rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So you can see that it is not nutrient specific. But if we talk about fertilizers, then they are rich in inorganic nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Okay, then if we talk about third point, then children, it is quite bulky and it is difficult to transport. As you know, it is prepared from all the organic waste, so it is very bulky and it will be very difficult to transport. Whereas if we talk about fertilizers, then it is in the powdered form and it is very easy to transport and it is very easy to store. Okay, then manures improves the soil structure. Why it improves the soil structure? Because as you know, it is prepared from all the organic substances, so they will not harm, but yes, may not be so much helpful to remove the specific nutrients deficiencies from the soil, but yes, it will improve the soil structure. Whereas if you talk about the fertilizers, there's yes, continuous use increases crop production, but yes, sometimes it has certain disadvantage. It will lead to soil as well as water pollution. It will not improve the soil structure, but yes, if continuous use, if excess amount they are used, then it will lead to some of the pollution like soil and water. Then as we talk about manure children, then it is not water soluble, as it takes lots of time to get absorbed by the plants. And whereas fertilizers, they are in the powdered form, so it is water soluble and can be easily absorbed by the plants. Whereas if we talk about manures, then yes, they are environmental friendly, they do not cause any pollution. Whereas if we talk about fertilizers, then they may cause pollution, water pollution, like you know, it will take time to absorb. So if there is a flood or some other kind of thing, then some of the fertilizers may get washed out with help of water, and that's why it can create water pollution. And as you can see, manures are prepared from all the organic waste, so it is very cheap. But fertilizers, they are man-made and they are nutrient based, so yes, they are even costly. And some of the examples of manures are compost is the manure which is obtained by decomposition of dead plants and animals. Whereas if we talk about fertilizers, then we have urea, ammonium sulfate, potash, etc. Yes children, now there are different type of manures which can be prepared by using different things. Like you can see compost. Now what is this compost? Compost can be prepared with the help of all the organic waste which can be obtained even from the farms. So all the farm waste like cow dung, straws, animal waste. So by collecting all this and dumping in a pit, and after that one manure is prepared, that is a compost manure, and it is very rich in nutrients and it gives benefit to the plants. Okay, so you can see in the picture children. Then yes, vermicompost. Vermicompost is one of, you can say that the best friend of the farmers are the earthworm, right? So earthworm plays an important role to make this compost, so that's why it is called as vermicomposting Here also the manure has been prepared by the all the animal as well as plant waste, but yes, here the earthworm plays an important role to decompose this waste. So yes, vermicompost, the process of using earthworms to prepare manures from plant waste, dry leaves, vegetable peels, etc. And another method, like instead of using fertilizers, farmer can adopt another method, that is natural method, that is crop rotation. So it is a practice of growing a series of dissimilar or different type of crops in same area in sequence season. Like one year can you can say wheat can be grown, then another season we can grow leguminous plants. So this way crop rotation can be done. So growing two or more crops alternately on a same land in a sequence season. So like after growing wheat for a season, farmers can prefer to grow a crop of leguminous families such as peas, gram, groundnut in the next growing seasons. So leguminous plant, yes, leguminous plant are very rich in all the nutrients. Like one of the leguminous plant have the nitrogen fixing bacteria which is known as rhizobium, and this bacteria is associated with the root forming nodules and converts all the atmospheric nitrogen into compounds that can be used by the plants. Okay, so this is one of the example of children mutual relationship, that is symbiotic relationship, that is bacteria is helping the plants as well as plant is helping the bacteria. So they are both helping each other, so that's why it is known as symbiotic relationship. Okay, so this way the method can be applied. Instead of using excessive amount of fertilizers, this crop rotation method can be used. So nutrition of soil can also be naturally replaced using this method called as crop rotation. So yes, this is also one of the example, children, green manures. So green manures is also a good method of manuring the soil before sowing the seeds. So as you can see in the picture, some of the leguminous plants are grown before sowing the seeds, so that the soil get all the nutrients which are required for the soil for the growth of the crops. Then yes, these are some of the examples of fertilizers, how the fertilizers are being sprayed in the fields, like with the manually, or you can see some of the instrument sprayers are used to spray in the field all the manures and fertilizers. Yes, the important part, that is irrigation, children. The next important agricultural practice is irrigation. So as you know, good crop yield requires availability of all the right amount of water. So plants can absorb minerals and fertilizers only in the presence of water. So yes, water is one of the most important part of the agricultural practices. So as you know, seeds do not germinate in the absence or scarcity of water. So hence agricultural fields need to be watered regularly, and the supply of water to agricultural fields at regular interval of time. So as you can see, regularly the water has to be supplied to the crops, so that there is a good regularity of the crops as well as the crops get a good amount of water, and this intervals is called as irrigation. So yes, the supply of water to the crops at different intervals is called as irrigation. And as you know that the source of water for irrigation could be rainfall, wells, tube wells, canals, ponds, lakes and rivers, as you can see, children, in the picture. So yes, the availability of the water at the places, there are different sources of water, you can see from where the water can be available to the crops. So there are various methods of irrigation, children. So mainly you have two methods of irrigation, one is traditional method and one is modern method. So there are some of the examples of traditional method of irrigation. So as you can see, children, Dekli, then chain pump, then moat and rahat. These are some of the methods which use cattle or humans to pull water from the well, and these methods are cheaper. Yes, these methods are cheaper, children, but they are not efficient because they require laborer as well as it is time consuming. And some of the methods like pumps are also commonly used for irrigation, and they are operated by using diesels, biogas and electricity. So yes, these are some of the traditional method, but yes, they are cheaper, but they are not so much efficient because they require lots of time and labor. So this traditional method are replaced by the modern method, children. So nowadays farmers use modern methods of irrigation for their fields. That is, there are two methods, one is sprinkler and second one is drip system. So first of all, sprinkle system, children. The sprinkler system is a method by which water is sprinkled over the field by rotating sprinklers. So as you can see, the sprinkles has rotators, nozzles which keep on rotating, and from that water flows to the main pipe, and then there is small pipes which has small holes, and with the help of this pump the method is useful for uneven land where there is a scarcity of water, even in the sandy regions. So this is also one of the good method of irrigation. So water is being supplied through different pipes in the sprinkler forms. Then yes, second method is, children, drip system. So drip system is a system, children, in which water is allowed to fall drop by drop only on the root of plant. So you can see how the pipe has been attached and at different size, and you can see only by drop to the roots the water will be supplied. And this is one of the excellent method, you can see, for the regions where there is a water scarcity, and this there will be no wastage of water. So yes, children, this is one of the best method of irrigation. The water can be supplied drop by drop, and this way the plants will get the water in a proper amount. So this method can be applied where there is a scarcity of water. So this way the irrigation can be done.